Hello everybody, good morning to you all. Thank you for being here. Be Sad Dog, Camping King, Jason, Buffalo Bill, Mike, Elebic, Benjamin, good morning. In typical me fashion, I managed to sell the bear meat. I sold the spider ichor too, but I was able to buy that back. The bear meat was not on the buyback page, so we have some rat ears to get, and we have bear meat to get again, because that's what we love to do. Farm up bear meat. Hope you guys are doing well today. What is new in the world, and in the world of Warcraft? Any news that I haven't heard about? It's only Thursday, so probably not. At least I think it's Thursday. Kate, happy Thursday. Okay, so it is Thursday. Okay, good. David, hello. For the Horde, for the Alliance. Can't you see the banner next to me, my friend? I have become a certified Alliance Andy. And I'm not sorry about it. Not yet, anyway. Blood Moon, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Val, good afternoon. Thanks for being here. Daniel, good afternoon to you. To be transparent, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, and I just woke up from like a morning nap. I had to like lay back down on the couch as soon as I got back from dropping my child off at school, because I didn't get any sleep last night. So right now I feel like still a little bit sleepy, but I feel at least like physically restored. So like the sleepy part's not good. Not for hardcore, because I didn't drink my coffee yet this morning, because I knew I was going to have to lay back down. So I'm hoping like the fact that we're fighting really easy stuff is going to help me stay alive until I can actually wake my brain up a little bit more. The brain is not awake. Yeah, I'm physically fine. I had like, I ate a bunch of Chinese food leftovers at like 10 o'clock at night. And I ingested some liquids that I probably ought not to have ingested with Chinese food that late at night, and I had super bad acid reflux. And I slept till about 2 in the morning. I slept from like midnight till 2, and then from 2 o'clock I was up until about 5:30 in the morning. And then I had to get up at 7, so I got like 2 hours there, 2 hours there. But yeah, just like I was very stupid. I know that I have acid reflux issues, so there's no way that I should have ate a bunch of Chinese food at 10 o'clock at night. It was almond boneless chicken, which is like, it's basically like deep fried chicken, you know? It's all deep fried crap that you're not supposed to eat it anyway when you have reflux issues. You definitely don't want to eat it at 10 o'clock at night before you go to bed and lay down, so it was my fault. And like from now on, David says, some steak and a glass of whiskey, that'll sort you out. Yeah, part of my problem. No, I had Chinese food and like a glass of tequila. Not what you want to do. It turns out that's not what you want. And so it's completely my own fault, you know. It could have been easily avoided. So from now on, I'm not ingesting food after 7 p.m. I'm gonna make a new rule. No eating food after 7. And if like at 7 p.m., I'm gonna have a bowl of Cheerios. Plain Cheerios, and that's gonna be the last thing I eat, because I can't be kept awake all night by acid reflux. It's awful. I'm like a gremlin. Yeah, don't feed me after midnight. Don't give me any liquids. Right. Yeah, that's what it felt like. It felt like a gremlin had like invested itself like right in my sternum. Like, right in my sternum. It was truly bad. And maybe I've learned my lesson now. We'll see. I'm not gonna eat food after 7. I'm gonna have a nightly fast until the next morning. 12 hours of fasting. I had some Tums and like eventually it subsided enough till I don't think Tums is really good for acid reflux. I think Tums is more for like an upset stomach. It did a little bit. I had some prescription like antacid stuff that I took and that probably helped too, but that kind of stuff you're supposed to take in the morning and at night. Like I don't think it's supposed to be taken like reactively to reflux, but I took it anyway. Yeah, Blood Moon, that's what I had to do. Like, I had to go sit on the couch, because I couldn't prop myself up enough in the bed, so I literally had to just go to the couch and sit. I couldn't find, like, a sitting position that was comfortable enough to let me sleep. So I just sat on the couch, and I watched Co-Carnage play Resident Evil 4. Which is probably also, like, what you want to watch at, like, 3 in the morning, when you should be sleeping. But yeah, I watched that for hours, until, like, finally I felt like I could prop myself up in a way that I could sleep. I never had heartburn in my 20s. I didn't even know what heartburn was. I thought it was made up. I'd hear like my uncle talking about heartburn, and he'd like chug some vitamin D milk. Like, I got heartburn, vitamin D milk. I'm like, heartburn's not real. Well, heartburn is real. Acid reflux disease is real. And it'll get you. I feel good after my hour nap this morning, though. We'll see how long that energy lasts. Let's go to the tower. We'll turn in whatever this is, Mountaineer Stormpike's task, and we have to go after some bears. I haven't seen any bears yet. It was crappy. Like I never like would have imagined that it could be so bad. Also, it does this weird thing, like I have slight asthma, so like when my acid reflux is really bad and I feel super bloated, it makes me feel like my asthma is acting up, when it's really not. So like in the night, I'll go to like hit my inhaler, like thinking like, oh, my asthma's acting up. I'm like, oh wait, like no, this is not helping. This is not asthma, it's just like pressure in your diaphragm. That's like somehow pushing on your lungs.
Watch your back.
It's gross.
Be good. Talk to me. Walk with you.
The lesson is, kids, that when a doctor says you have GERD and they give you guidelines for when you should eat, what you should eat, etc., you should try to follow them. Yeah, because it's not a thing that like gets better or goes away. Listen to your doctors. I made it to almost 40 without it being an issue. Casey, you said it hit you as soon as you turned 30. Yeah, like I got lucky. I guess I had a few more years. It's just bad diet, bad life choices. You know, ultimately we do these things to ourselves. Today I'm not eating anything. No, I had Cheerios, a piece of toast, and yogurt so far. And yeah, my goal today is to eat minimally. The problem is I can't stop drinking coffee. That's probably one of the biggest problems. Coffee is not really great for that sort of thing. today I'm gonna like try to fast a little bit. It sucks because I have leftover Chinese food that I know I'm not gonna be able to eat now. That's the worst part. Is I got some almond boneless chicken. I got some beef fried rice. Yeah, and I'm not gonna be able to eat it. I'm gonna have to toss it out. And now I'm worried that I'll never want to eat Chinese food again, which would be incredibly sad. Finally back in Michigan where the Chinese food is actually good. We have a dish called almond boneless chicken, which is like some kind of meat, deep fried. I won't speculate on its origin. But it's really good, and like in Missouri, no one knew what almond boneless chicken was. Like, you would tell people about it or you go to order it and they just wouldn't know. You'd have to get like some other kind of chicken dish. So, you know, now that I'm back in Michigan, I can have my favorite Chinese food again. Like, now I find out that I probably can't eat it. I probably shouldn't be eating it at all. Super depressing. Yeah, it is the best. I heat it up in, like, we have an air fryer. So I put the chicken and the egg rolls in the air fryer. And it comes out really good. Yeah, 8 minutes in the air fryer. But I don't think I can do that anymore. I mean, yeah, I just don't want to risk it. I think I'm supposed to drink tea. Yeah, I think for like drinking stuff with caffeine, I'm supposed to probably drink like green tea. Would probably be minimally effectual on acid reflux, but I don't think I'm going to be able to change that. There's things that I can change, and there's things that I'm willing to change, and there's things that I'm not. And I don't know if I'm at a point in life yet where I'm willing to stop drinking coffee. Adam, I appreciate you being here, man. How many different characters do I run at the same time? You know, usually only a few that I'm actively playing. I have lots of characters, you know. I've played WoW for 20 years. With hardcore, like, we have a few. Yeah, we have the Paladin as our main, we have this warrior. I have a rogue and a mage that I was doing, like, recorded series with, and they're kind of riding the bench right now. There's a priest that I might pull out. Like, the thing about Classic is that it really helps your characters to get rested XP. And the only way you get a lot of rested XP is if you don't play them for a little bit at a time. So it kind of like encourages you to give characters a break and to do other stuff. And so I just kind of roll with it. Like whatever I feel like playing that day is typically what I play. Especially in hardcore when like the journey is going to be a long one anyway. And rested XP really helps. Today's going to be a day that the Pally can get some rested XP. And maybe we'll revisit her tomorrow. Maybe we'll pull the priest back out. We have a level 9 priest that we haven't touched. We have one bear meat. I feel so bad. I wonder if I vendored it last night, or if I vendored it. It might have been the first thing I vendored today because it wasn't on the buyback page anymore. I don't remember being in such a hurry to sign off last night. I guess I didn't turn the quest in at all. I came on today and I emptied my inventory out, assuming that I had turned the quest in, and I hadn't. It's gross. Ryu, thank you for being here, man. Thanks for checking out the stream. I appreciate it. What spec would I go on the priest? Probably Shadow. Well, we would dip into... I always dip into Discipline to get improved wands. And then after improved wands, we go Shadow. We gotta get Spirit Tap first, and then improve wands, and then it's all the Shadow tree. I played as Disc on Athos, which was like the second character I played in Classic. So I played a Disc Priest. And Disc is fun. It's like, it's slower, but you don't have a lot of downtime. But I feel like I could play Shadow the same way. I feel like I could play Shadow with like the same amount of downtime as a Disc Priest. It's all about the wand being good. It's like for a priest, a good wand is like a warrior's weapon. You know, you always have to have the best wand that you can have. And it's almost easier to target wands than it is to target weapons, because there's less of them. And there's less of them that are good. So it kind of makes it easy to figure out, like, which wand do we target? Where does it come from? How do we get it? Type of thing. Which class do I find the most challenging in Classic Hardcore? Well, the Warrior so far. I've gotten 2 of them killed in Official. I've probably got a couple of them killed back on Bloodsail. Yeah, the Warrior, because, like, a couple of things come together to make it challenging. You do a lot of damage, so you get really confident pretty early on. But when things go sideways, if you don't run right away, you don't have a lot of, like, get out of jail free buttons. You don't have a heal, you don't have a button to, like, bubble yourself, you don't have something to, like, distract the enemy into not attacking you. Yeah, on the Warrior, when stuff goes wrong, you really don't have a lot of recourse to get out of it. You can fight your way out of it. What I learned the last time I got a Warrior killed is that, like, often your best bet is to pop some DPS cooldowns and just try to fight your way out of it. Unless you run right away, unless you see the pull happen and you immediately run, you're better off trying to fight through it, but that's hard to do when you pull like 4 or 5 guys. So yeah, so far the Warrior has been challenging. If I just kill everything, then eventually bears will spawn. Or something. I don't know. The bears don't have any meat on them today. It's a pretty sad state of affairs. Maybe we ought to go do some stuff in Darkshore at some point for like a change of pace. I can't remember. I don't think we've done anything in Darkshore on this character yet, because I think we pieced out at level 9. Yeah, maybe I do that. I like Loch Modan for like the aesthetic, but besides like the handful of the introductory quest, I don't really care for the questing. I like the Trog quest, I like these quests, like I don't really enjoy going over to this side of the zone. I don't know why. I just don't really enjoy the questing out there. So maybe we'll work in some Darkshore. Yeah, I think that would be cool. The bears are on my new diet, yeah, which is don't eat food. Don't eat food. Yeah, I don't like the Hunter's Lodge quest very much. I don't like Bingles and his tools, and there's not like a lot to do here. Then there's the stuff with like the caravan and escorting the guy I never do. There's like the ruin site with the troglodytes that I never do. Yeah, I guess I just don't, I like the aesthetic of the zone a lot. I don't like questing here. But it becomes mandatory unless you do some Darkshore. But since we already have the flight points and stuff, we might as well do that. Steven, do you need to make the run? Are you trying to make, like, you don't need to make the wetlands run, do you? Alex, I appreciate it. We have lots of stuff right now. Well, I have lots of defense and I have lots of strength. You do need to make the run. I don't know if I'm going to be high enough of a level to keep you safe. I have the flight point to Menethil. So I was going to fly. Because at level 16, that would still be dangerous, I think. Maybe even for 2 of us. We might be okay with 2 of us, but I think where we get into trouble is probably by the Elgaz gate. I think the orcs in Elgaz would probably give us trouble. That would be my only worry with like 2 level 15 or 16s trying to run the wetlands. Yeah, I'd say like if Alex has a higher level position to do it, that'd probably be safer. I don't want to do it and get you killed, because you know I'm not going to be able to help from a combat sense. We'll just have to run from stuff. Yeah, we won't be able to fight anything still. At least I wouldn't want to fight level 21 stuff at level 16. It could be risky. The orcs, some of the orcs are archers. I found out they took a few pot shots at me, and I had to hide in the tunnel before. Dan, good afternoon, man. Thanks for being here. We still got 1 out of 3 meat. Oh god. Painful. I knew I was gonna sell the meat. I knew it. And these guys are worth so little experience that it's like it's almost not even worth fighting them. But I have to get bears to spawn in. Level 11 no mage. Level 11 no mage does not want to be here. He doesn't know it yet, but maybe he realizes now that he's out of mana at half HP. But yeah, level 11 no mage. You don't want to be here. You want to be doing stuff somewhere else. Tesla, good morning. Welcome to the stream. We have a few people here now, so it's probably a good time to mention that, like, eventually I'm gonna have to go into the guild, and like anybody who's been, any character that hasn't been logged in for like 11 days or more, I'm probably gonna start clearing out characters that are not being played. We have quite a few characters that have not been logged in, so, and then like if I kick one of your characters, and then eventually you want to actually play it, you want to get re-invited, that's fine. but I am going to clean house a little bit on probably anything 11 or 12 days and older. I figure like if a character is active, like you're probably playing it like at least once a week. And if you're not playing a character at least once a week, it's not an active character. So yeah, I'm gonna go clean, because I'm gonna either have to do it now or I'll have to do it later. And like the longer I wait on it, the more I'm gonna have to click, because the more characters are gonna have not been played for 11 days or more. So I'm gonna do that this week and then try to keep up on it. Is the guild full? It's not full. I just don't like the bloat. No, I see 183 characters, but that's not how many people are active. So I'd like to get that down to a more realistic number. Yeah, it's not that it's full. I just don't think like I said, if you're playing a character and you're not logging in once every 10 days, then you're not really playing the character. I get that some people can only play on the weekends. I get that some people only have a couple hours a week. And then if I kick your character and you do want to play it eventually and you want back in, then just ask for another invite. Not a big deal. But in the meantime, I want to have like a clearer idea of how many people are actually playing. The Thanos click. Yeah, I wish I could just like... I'm going to have to individually Thanos click them, which is not quite the same thing. Alright, I have all the meat. We have 8 out of 12 rat tunnel ears. Let's try to get some more ears. And then we'll go turn these in. Yeah, David, it's a good time to come back. If you've ever thought you wanted to play Classic, it's a good time to come back. I would say don't come back and play Retail, like that would be pointless. If Shadowlands didn't hold on to you, like Dragonflight's not going to do anything for you. So yeah, but it's a great time to come back to the game and play Classic Era. Whether or not you want to do Hardcore, or just regular Classic Era Vanilla, or even Wrath of the Lich King, it's a great time. It's kind of like a golden age. Nobody knows how long it's going to last. Also, a thing to keep in mind is that we're going to have a new season of Classic Era by the end of the year. That's what they've told us. They've promised us like a new season, like we had the season of Mastery a couple years ago. So there will be like a fresh start new season of Classic Era sometime by the end of the year. Also a thing to keep in mind if you're thinking about coming back. I'm really interested to see like how popular Hardcore remains in the face of a fresh start new season. Especially if they make the new season interesting in any way. 4 of them? 4 of them, okay, yeah. No. We were gonna get the 5th one, otherwise I would have saved thought. We'll try to keep this guy. We'll keep the one with the bleeds on him. But I'm gonna leash all the rest. Okay, instead of leashing all the rest, I think I've dropped them onto this hunter. I'm gonna go back and make sure that he doesn't die. Yeah, we're gonna go back and help. I'll pop a potion. Do I have any thoughts on what the new season will be? I don't, because they've shared nothing with us. All that they've said is like in a single interview, they promised that it wouldn't be another season of Mastery. And what they mean by that, it could be a couple of things. In the season of Mastery, all we got was an experience buff. And they changed some loot around at endgame, you know, on the raid bosses that only 2% of people ever see. Also, the season of Mastery was a certifiable failure. People played for about 3 months, they hit max level, and then they quit. And the season was a year long. And then like, and then the season ended, and we didn't hear about a new season for another year after that. So when they say it's not going to be a new season of Mastery, I hope that means A, it's going to have more than just an experience buff to change it up while we're leveling. I hope that B, it's not a year-long season. Seasons don't last an entire calendar year. That's not what a season is. And C, question mark, profit. Yeah, no, I hope that it's more than an XP buff. And I hope that it's a 6-month season, because it will be an XP buff too. There will be an XP buff. Okay, like there is going to be one, but I hope that that's not all there is. And I hope it's a 6-month season and not a year-long season. And I hope then that like the 6-month season ends, we have a short lull, and then ideally the way seasonal content works is you go into another season. With the Season of Mastery, they ended the season, and then a year later, they start talking about having a new season. It's like, we had a year-long season, a year off, and then they started talking about a new season. Like, that's not how seasonal content works. So I'm hoping that they mean that they figured out how seasonal content works. And they're going to do something remotely interesting for people. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Val, you don't like the XP buffs? I mean, for a season, it kind of makes sense as long as the season's not a year long. I hated the XP buff in SOM because, like, it was a year-long season. If you're going to give people a year, they don't need an XP buff. I get that it takes, like, 200 hours to level a character, but you can do that in a year without an XP buff. It's not necessary. If you want to have, like, a 3-month season, or a 4-month season, or a 6-month season, then sure. You know, give us the 40% experience buff. Okay, whatever. But do something else too. They have to do other stuff while we're leveling up. There have to be changes. There have to be different things going on. I don't know what it will be. They haven't talked about it at all. They're not going to talk about it. At this point, you're not going to hear anything till BlizzCon. But the cool thing is, they said by the end of the year. BlizzCon happens on November 2nd. So we should hear all about the new season. And then pretty quickly after that, we should be playing the new season, you know? Alright, we're done with everything here. Let's go turn in. It works for a season if the season's not a year long. Like, and then what they did with Season of Mastery that busted, the reason I stopped leveling characters, is that they then took the 40% XP buff or 50% XP buff, and like after a few months, they put it up to 100%. It was like you were already leveling fast. It was still okay. And the thing is, it was still a big journey. Like, it was still a big journey. 50% XP buff in a game that takes you 250 hours to reach cap. Like, that's still going to leave you with like over 100 hours of journey. So it was still fine. But then they boosted it up to 100% buff. I don't know if they ever raised it more than that. But like, as soon as they did that, I stopped playing. We had leveled up our Alliance Warrior to 60. And I was on like a Tauren Shaman. And then one day I logged in and they had increased the XP buff. I logged out that day and never logged back in. So yeah, there's a threshold. You can't just keep increasing the experience gains throughout the season, because then it creates that concept of, well, why would I play at the start of the season? Why would I play at the start of the season if 3 months in they're just going to raise the XP bonus more? Why wouldn't I just wait? It creates that kind of like negative mentality. And so if they start with a 50% XP buff, they can't raise it within the season. That was a huge mistake. Exactly. It's such an important part of Classic, right? You don't want to make people feel like you're trying to invalidate that, because in Classic, like, no one's rushing to endgame. No one's trying to like do the raids over and over and over and over and over again. There's a small percentage of people that are going to do that, and everyone else playing Classic is in it for the journey. So in the new season, they have to find ways to make the journey fun, like different things they can do with the journey.
Great to meet you.
They could rebalance classes, you know, they could do a lot of things in the systems. Whether or not they will, I don't know. Maybe I should hang on to this bow and train bows in Darnassus. Okay, I turned in the quest, so I don't have to worry about selling the meat. I still don't want to sell it, but we don't need it. There we go. Yeah, that's how I felt, Jason. The 40 to 50% was good. When it got to 100%, I logged out and didn't log back into the server. It just didn't feel right. Like it's like we were standing on a glass floor, and then suddenly it shattered. And I was like, why am I here? What are we doing? Why is it like this? And then I never went back.
See you soon.
Yeah, too much of an XP buff is counterproductive for Classic, and I hope that's what they mean. They never did an after action message. They never had a post about like lessons learned from the Season of Mastery. It's like they were embarrassed, like Blizzard always gets. Like they don't want to talk about their failures because they don't understand that like talking about your failures can point towards future success. It's like they don't get it. All they see is the failure, and they never want to talk about it. They never want to have an open discourse about it. So we never got the after-action report on what they learned from Season of Mastery. So that's why people don't trust it. That's why people think like, oh, they're gonna F it up again. Because they don't ever talk about what they learned. You know, when the season ended, there should have been a couple-page post, like a blue post a few pages long, about like what they thought went well, what they thought didn't go well, what they would do again, what they would never do again, what they might do next time. Like, those are all the things you want to do after you finish a project. Like, after the season ended, there should have been an after action. That should have been an open dialogue with the community that played it.
Be good.
And it didn't happen. So it's hard for people to listen to them say, oh, it'll be different than Season of Mastery, and to actually believe it. Because if there were lessons learned, they didn't tell us about any of it. They just acted like it ran its course like they wanted. Like, oh, and the season's over. Everything's fine. Working as intended. It clearly wasn't working as intended because everybody quit 3 months in. Christopher, this is the Defias Pillager hardcore server, which is a US East server. Six is good morning, man. Jory, good morning to you. Good afternoon, I should say, at this point. No, it's still morning for me. I will still say good morning. Jason, you enjoyed the Soul of Iron feature? Yeah, and now you have actual hardcore servers, though. Now you don't really need SOM for the Soul of Iron. Because you just do that stuff here. It's, you know, they don't even need it now. Green Goblin, what expansion should they stop at when it comes to Classic? They probably should have stopped at Burning Crusade, realistically, but they didn't. I don't know. It's a tough one to answer. Because, like, people don't like the idea of us going into Cataclysm Classic, but we're going to. And so, like, yeah, after that, what, Mist? Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't get to play a lot of Mist, so, like, I wouldn't mind getting to play Mist again as intended. Because I leveled the panda, got super burned out, and I didn't play a lot of Mist.
Keep your feet on the ground.
And people say that Mist was pretty good, especially as far as like the raid content goes. But I don't think that's what people want. I don't know that enough people want Mist of Pandaria Classic for us to ever get there. I kind of worry that Classic stops at Cataclysm, which will probably be like a big downer note for a lot of people. I don't know. Again, I wish I trusted Blizzard to have a plan, but since they never talk about their failures and they never talk about their lessons learned, it's hard to think that they do. It's hard to think anything except that they continue to delude themselves that all the choices they make are the best choices ever, and that they'll keep making the same mistakes. It's hard to think anything else when they don't openly talk about like what they've learned from their mistakes. I remember, like, it must have been 6 or 7 months ago, they sent out a survey asking people, what features of Cataclysm did you like? And it listed a bunch of stuff. And the feeling I got from that survey was that they know that there are lots of things about Cataclysm that people who like Classic do not want. So I wonder if we might get a Cataclysm that looks a little bit different than what Cataclysm looked like when it launched. That's what I wonder. Is that a shield on my back or a wonky cape? Well, it's a shield covering a cape. Yeah, the cape is weird, and I'm probably gonna hide the cape because I don't really like how it looks. Cloak. Boop. There we go. I want backpacks. I want to wear a backpack like the game Outward. Outward had really good backpacks. Yeah, Jason, a lot of people did want Wrath Classic. But here's the other thing, though. A lot of people mistakenly believed that, like, from Wrath Classic, we would get Classic Plus. And we did. We did get Wrath Classic, Classic Plus. It just wasn't what people wanted out of Classic Plus. But it was what they were able to do. But I think people wanted Wrath because they imagined that, like, Wrath was great, the class design was great, the direction was great, the story was great. And I think a lot of people wanted Wrath because they thought Wrath was a good jumping off point for True Classic Plus. And people had this idea that, like, True Classic Plus would be like a new expansion where we take the game into a different direction. And that didn't happen and is never gonna happen, not from Wrath of the Lich King at least. And so I think that's a lot of why people wanted Wrath. Because they thought, like, this is like the quintessential, like, classic, all the classes are in a pretty good state. The talent trees are all in a pretty good state. You don't have a lot of completely dead specs that are just, like, unplayable in Wrath. So I think that's why people wanted Wrath so much. But then it turns out, like, yeah, you're not going to get Classic Plus like that. So, like, yeah, we got Wrath, but, like, where does that go? Oh, it goes into Cataclysm. Like, Wrath just goes into Cataclysm. And if people had thought about it that way, they might not have wanted Wrath as much. In 20 years we'll get Classic, Classic, Classic? Yeah, in 20 years we'll get Classic, Classic, Classic Plus. Right. Exactly. Oh, this hill is where I got a level 11 Warlock killed one time. Right here on this hill. Let's back it up. Yeah, Kata was the end of Classic. A lot of people feel that way, Straw Hat, because once the zones were remade, it's not Classic era. Yeah, I would like for them to call, when they release Classic Cataclysm, which they will, I would love for them to call it Cataclysm Reforged. And I would love for there to be changes. Based on the survey they sent out where they asked people, like, what parts of Kata did you like? I would like it to be Kata Reforged, not Cataclysm Classic. Don't call it Classic. That's what makes it okay, is that you're not calling it Classic. You're calling it Reforged, and you're making changes to it. You're not adding stuff, necessarily, but you're making changes to it based on the feedback that they got about the things people liked about Kata and the things people didn't like about Kata. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see Cataclysm Reforged. In 20 years, we used to have to wait an hour for the mail. Yeah, and the slash who will only show 50 people. And, like, all the things, everything will be the same. Yeah. There will be no quality of life added. And then there will be hashtag no changes people still. Like 90-year-old people who are still hashtag no changes. A lot of the no changes people won't be around in 20 years. Yeah, I probably won't be around in 20 years. But I was never really hashtag no changes to begin with. I always wanted changes, mainly quality of life stuff. Yeah, in Classic Plus, everyone gets their own layer, right? Because we don't want to wait. We don't want to waste everybody's time because people are getting up there in age anyway, and to respect their time, everybody gets their own layer. And the only place you can see other players is the capital cities. There we go. That fixes it. It's a single player game. The only place you get to see other people is the major cities. We're gonna know all these things soon. You know, we're gonna know about Cataclysm at BlizzCon. We're gonna know about the future of like Classic era. They had talked about releasing a hardcore server type that is like a self-found official hardcore server type. So we'll probably hear about that too, whereby like you can't trade or use the auction house. And yeah, so we'll know all this stuff pretty soon. It's gonna be like, you know, less than a month from now we'll have these answers. And then we'll just be able to, we won't be speculating anymore, we'll just be able to complain about all of it, you know? In true WoW fan fashion, we'll go from speculating to learning reality and bitching about it. So that'll be fun. I misspelled solo not found. Yeah, I'm not interested in that at all. Like, I do not think I will be doing that. Yeah, when they release the self-found, if they release self-found official servers, I don't think I'll be doing it, guys. I burned myself out on self-found with the level 47 Paladin on Bloodsail Buccaneers and all the dozens of other characters I got killed. But yeah, I am well burned out of self-found. And, you know, there probably won't be restrictions on dungeons. There won't be restrictions on grouping. And there won't be restrictions on running dungeons except for the 24-hour lockout, I don't think. But just going back to a world where I can't use the auction house, where I can't get mail, I can't send mail, I don't have an interest in it. You know what I mean? I don't have any interest in it. So, and I wonder how many people will feel that way. It turns out that this version of hardcore is quite hardcore enough for me. What are my plans when Cata hits? I mean, I don't have any right now. I'll play it. If Cataclysm comes out, I will play it. I just don't really know for sure right now. What I've been thinking about is I'll probably take a horde character right into some endgame leveling, and see the endgame leveling, and then I'll probably take a Worgen through like Alliance leveling zones all the way up to see how the Alliance zones changed. And that's mainly because I didn't play Alliance and Cataclysm. I was only playing Horde at the time, so I didn't get to see the Alliance stuff. My wife has brought me an egg and ham croissant sandwich. And even though I'm trying not to eat a lot, I'm gonna have to eat this soon. Yeah, but even if somebody... But the thing is, you can give someone a blue and give them an epic, they're still gonna die. That's kind of the thing. It's like, yeah, the gear matters. Like, definitely the gear matters. But when you die, it's like you get into situations like this person's got themselves into, where like, if I don't intervene right now, they're dead, you know, this person would be dead. And it wouldn't matter what their gear looked like or who traded them gear, like, oh yeah, you're welcome. Like, they would have got killed, you know? And so eventually, even with the best gear, like, what happens in WoW is like, something kills you. Because the game is designed for you to die over and over again. That's why there are so many graveyards. That's why there was never a penalty for death besides having to do the graveyard run. Because the game was designed to get you killed regardless of how good your gear was. So yeah, does it make it a little easier to survive? Probably. Up into a point. Up into a point. Yeah. Am I gonna play any goblins, Green Goblin? No. Yeah, I'll do the starting area. Yeah, I'll probably do a recorded series of just the goblin starting area, the couple hours of their starting area. Same thing with like the troll. The trolls got their new starting area. But will I play a goblin like long term? No, you know how I feel, man. I know how you feel. You know how I feel. No, probably not long term. I'll do a goblin shaman through the starting area. Any advice for a new WoW Classic era player? Take it slowly. Understand that it's about the journey, not the destination. You're not trying to get the end game. There's nothing in end game waiting for you, and so that's not your goal. Your goal as a new player is to visit all of these amazing zones and to see how drastically different they all are, to experience the different enemy types and the different quest lines and stories going on in each of these areas. And yeah, just take your time and enjoy the journey, because there is no destination, there is no end game that you're trying to get to. This guy's taking pot shots at me back here. Yeah, Val, he's probably also a good player. He's also probably a good player. Yeah, like I said, it can help you, but eventually you can still die. I get it. People don't like it. I don't have an interest in solo self-found. No, I did the solo self-found thing. I don't care. I don't have any interest in it. I don't need people to give me epics and blues, but if people send me a piece of gear, I'm gonna use it. I'm still gonna die, you know. It's still gonna be hard. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, he's probably just a really good player. Like you can give a doofus a bunch of good gear, but there's still gonna be a doofus. Like that's the fact of the matter. Is the same thing if you're kind of a spaz like I am. Like you're gonna make a mistake, regardless of like how good your gear is or how many blues someone has handed you. Yeah, on official right now, you can send mail. Yep, you can trade, you can send mail, you can use the auction house. What do we need here still? We need teeth. We need a couple of scouts. Probably pull these guys. Oh, he didn't come with. Okay, that's even better. I'm gonna finish this, and then I'm gonna eat this food. I'm gonna turn my camera off when I eat. I'll keep playing, but I'll be muted. I'll have my camera off for a bit while I eat this sandwich. We'll see how that goes. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna keep working on this quest, but I am going to mute myself and go off the cam for a minute. I'll put a little note so people know what's up. There we go. I will pin that note. And I will see you guys on the flip side. Wish me luck.
What can I do for you? No, keep your feet on the ground. How are you? Safe travels.
And we're back. Again, I had a note at the top, man. It always happens. Yeah. Someone's always like, "There's no cam. There's no talking." Wah! Wah! It's like, oh, I'm just eating. I just want to eat and not be on camera. And also, I don't like talking with my mouth full. So, yeah. I try to help out by having the comment, but I understand it's hard to see. All right, I tried to indicate visually on the map, but yeah, we're headed to Darkshore. We're gonna do some stuff in Darkshore today. Hario, good afternoon, man. Thanks for being here. It's been a while.
Very good.
Do I have any thoughts on a hardcore shaman? I haven't played enough of one recently to have a lot of thoughts. I can tell you that, like, you know, depressingly, numerically, if we're looking at, like, the meta, they're like C or D tier DPS. But they have some cool survivability stuff, I feel like. Stoneclaw Totem to, like, aggro a mob and get you out of trouble. But yeah, the highest level I got a shaman to was level 19. That was back on Bloodsail Buccaneers. I like the idea of shaman. The only like really annoying thing in classic era is that like some of the totem quests can be a pain in the butt. Some of the totem quests can suck. Slowing totem, yeah, they have some utility. They don't have nearly like the survivability utility of a paladin. So in my opinion, the horde kind of gets the short end of the stick on that one. But they do a little bit more damage than paladins, or at least they can. So it's kind of a trade-off. It's a good class, but like you're not going to do the damage that you would on like a warrior or a mage or a rogue or even like a warlock. It's just a lower damage spec or class. No matter what you do with it, it's going to be lower damage. But I think it's C tier. It's not quite D tier. The Paladin's D tier damage. Shaman is C tier. Yeah. But they're probably really fun. You got travel form. Yeah, travel form is a big bonus. Probably no way I'm making that boat. Yeah, I bet it sails off just as we get close to it. If we had a mount, we might make it. But yeah, I don't think we're making this. It's gonna be a close one. Maybe I can stick to the side of the boat if it starts to pull away. Maybe I can land somewhere over here. You know, we might get there. Oh man, we're gonna make it. That stayed in port a lot longer than I thought it was going to. Yeah, the fact that like Earthshock being an interrupt in Classic Era is pretty overpowered. I don't think it's an interrupt by Wrath of Lich King, Earthshock is not an interrupt. But in Classic Era it is. Ganner one, how do I know where to go questing? The way I know where to go questing is that I've been playing the game for 20 years. The way like a newer player might know is like in capital cities especially, they occasionally give you a breadcrumb quest that wants you to go to somewhere very far away. And it's like when you get a breadcrumb quest that wants you to go somewhere far away and it's at your character level, you probably want to do it because that's trying to get you to go to like some far away place to do some questing over there. Like you will get a quest to go to from Stormwind, you get a quest to go to like Loch Modan, which is the area we were just in. So if you're a human and you're leveling up in Elwyn, you'll go to Stormwind, there will be a quest. It'll be like delivery to Mountaineer whoever, and that'll take you over to Loch Modan. So as a newer player, it's about following those little breadcrumb quests that you get that will take you to like distant lands. But I've been playing for long enough and doing enough zone hopping that I just know where I can go. The game doesn't make it super easy to know, but it does give you quests that try to get the player to go to the distant areas. Stolly, good afternoon. Balagian, good afternoon to you. Yeah, it's something that like experienced players know about that is probably harder for a new player to wrap their head around. Because most people that come from RPGs and other MMOs or like newer versions of WoW, you come back and you play Classic Era, and you can't go from Elwyn to Westfall to Red, like you're not going to be at the right level. You could if you wanted to just stand around and grind a lot, but yeah, ultimately the content's going to get too hard. So you really have to do some zone hopping. And like I said, the game provides you with the quest, but unless you really know what it's trying to get you to do, it's easy to not understand what to do.
What brings you here? May the stars guide you.
I'm not doing the fishing quest. I'm skipping them.
What brings you here? Ashar Fela.
One of the Fruit of the Sea is not a fishing quest. We'll grab that one.
What's on your mind? Safe travels. Off with you. Watch your back.
This one is a fishing quest. I'm not doing
Safe travels.
Greetings. Off and away.
We'll do the buzz box. It's a lower level, but it will lead into a higher level quest if we do it. We'll do this one really quick. It's the crabs out here on the coast. Ash, thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a good day. Apple cider brats. Man, now I want some apple cider and some donuts. I want some donuts from like a cider mill. Some apple cider. The night elves swim like as if they are dolphins. I think it's the same way that blood elves swim, actually. By just like kind of kicking their legs. Apparently they don't have to use their arms at all. It's a little bit different than the blood elves. But it's very similar. Yeah. They're cousins. Well, in the way that all the races are kind of cousins. The Night Elves evolved from trolls that were too close to the Well of Eternity. And so that's how like trolls over time developed into the Night Elves. I don't really know the origin of the High Elves. But I think it's a little bit different. I'm not sure though. I know for sure that Night Elves were once trolls that lived along the coast of the Well of Eternity before the Sundering. Tesla, have a good rest of your day, man. Thanks for hanging out. The High Elves were normal elves that lived near the Queen. Yeah, I feel like we probably got some of that story in Legion in the Highborn quest area. I don't remember it. He'll come back. He's not going to go get help, so we'll just wait. He can swim faster than us, so it's not really worth it to chase him into the water. Not when he's going to come back to meet his end anyway. Alright, that's all the meat that we need. Let's go turn this one in, and then we'll grab the, well, where does this one turn it? It's a buzz box. Okay, it's right over here, I think. We could probably go do the Thresher Eyes as well, since it's like level 12. I want to kind of tackle these in level order so that we don't lose anything. I know the Thresher Eyes has kind of a lower drop rate, but
Go in peace.
should be okay.
Goddess watch over you.
Someone is out here killing them. Austin, good morning. Thanks for stopping by. Have I done the warrior quest that starts in the capital city? I have not. Nope. Mechanical squirrel schematic. Creates a mechanical squirrel that follows you around. Okay. Interesting. Austin, ouch, man. I'm sorry to hear it. The Wolf, good afternoon. Welcome. Onizuka, thanks for stopping by the stream. I appreciate you hanging out. Let's pop all the clams before we have an inventory full of clams. Nobody wants an inventory full of clams. Nobody. At least when we're in the water doing quests, the fact that she's wearing basically a bathing suit makes sense. Probably dries out faster. Tomas, good afternoon. Thanks for being here. Steven, all that rust? Yeah, you'd probably have to oil it or something. It probably would rust. Alright, we need 2 more Thresher Eyes, but what we really need are there to be Threshers that we can actually fight, which right now there aren't. Here we go. Yeah, right, that's true. Yeah, big true. Yeah, I think I do have to either go further north or further south. It says there's a lot of them out this way. We have 2 out of 3. I'd love it if this guy here could drop the last one. That would be swell of him. But no, he couldn't be that cool. This is what people talk about when they say this one has a horrible drop rate. The last time I did this one I got really lucky and I got them like 1, 2, 3. And we knocked them out instantly. This time, yeah, we'll probably be stuck on this last one for a little bit. It's okay, they're not really worth a lot of experience points is the only bad thing. I'm not a big fan of underwater combat. Here's a bunch of them. We should be able to get it from these 3. I shouldn't say that because I'm probably jinxing it, but I feel like this should do it. There we go. And we got tribal pants. Alright. This one turns in up here. I should go turn this one in really quick. Yeah, we're already so far out here. I might as well go turn this one in and pick up whatever the follow-up is. You can just... he can't come out of the water anyway, can he? If I swim to the land, I think he's stuck here. Yeah, I'm gonna leave him. Oh good, he dropped combat right away. Apparently we're not ready for this one yet. We haven't turned in the other quest. Yep, we're doing this in a little bit of a non-efficient order. This is not efficient at all. Should be fine though. This next one is for the Moonstalkers though. Christopher, they're not. Are the first 20 levels free to play on Classic WoW? No, unfortunately there's no trial for Classic. And the reason is, no one really pays for Classic. You get Classic with your subscription to WoW. So there's no trial, but there's also not a box price. There's not a box price for the game. You just pay your $15 a month, and that gives you access to Classic Era, and it also gives you access to Wrath of the Lich King. So you're technically getting access to 2 different games just for your sub. But yeah, unfortunately, no trial. A level 20 trial, like, in Classic would be, like, potentially 30 hours of gameplay. It would be, 20 levels is a lot more time in Classic. In retail, 20 levels is about an hour. You'll play retail for an hour, and you'll be level 20. Like, what's our slash played at level 17? That's a slash who, Robert? Try to type the right word. We have played for 14 hours and 18 minutes, and we're not level 20 yet. So yeah, like yeah, if you had a trial of Classic, level 20 is like 15-20 hours of gameplay, whereas retail is like an hour of gameplay. It says we can get the fangs from these guys. It's lying to us. I've never got the fangs from any of these guys that weren't level 14 or above. Then it drops! Yes! Just complain about stuff and it'll happen. I've never, let's say it again, I've never gotten a drop from these guys that weren't level 14 or above. I'll keep saying it, and maybe they'll keep dropping. This is a first. I've never had it drop off these guys. That's awesome. All you gotta do is talk crap about something and it'll make you look foolish right away. I love it. Yeah, Alex, I could use a few breathing pots just in general. I'm gonna head back to. Oh man, they're dropping like crazy now. They're dropping like crazy. I'm gonna head back to Aberdeen, and then I think I'm gonna go refill my coffee. So yeah, I'll be parked at Aberdeen for a second, like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. But I might keep fighting these guys. I'm gonna keep saying it. I've never had it drop from these guys. It's working. It's gonna keep working. Nice one, Steven. Nice. At least you got it in there, like, right away. Alex, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is the only thing that makes underwater combat better, is the concept that, like, I won't drown to death. Yeah, no one wants to drown. You should always, don't be like me, always have some of these on you. It makes underwater fighting like a non-issue.
I'm listening. Good luck.
What is this one?
What's on your mind?
This is the Murloc one. I'm not gonna grab that one yet. No, we're gonna tackle them in level order. So the higher level ones, I'm not gonna put into my quest log yet. Let's grab everything that's gonna be basically like a green or a yellow that we want to do. The red crystal we can do. I thought that, you know what, we're missing out on the cooking quest because I don't even have cooking. So like normally there'd be a cooking quest for like the Strider meat, but I did not take cooking on this character.
Elune Adore.
So there's that. It's kind of a bummer. I also have to get my first aid leveled up whenever I'm like in a major city. I have a lot of linen that I don't really need to be carrying around. I'm gonna sell this for now. We'll get a better bow later. Shadow, who would I recommend retail to? Not really anybody right now. Because like if you're not playing retail right now, then there's probably nothing that's gonna pull you in. I'd recommend retail to people who have a guild of people playing retail. You know, to do all that instance content. Nice try though. You're not gonna get a retail rant out of me right now because I gotta go refill my coffee. But nice try though. I see what you did there.
Peace be
It's just not gonna work right now.
May the stars guide you. Elune light your path.
Cave mushrooms I'm not gonna grab. Plagued lands we will grab. But yeah, I'm gonna go refill my coffee. I'm gonna park it here. I'll be AFK for like a few minutes. Give me a few minutes and I will be back. If you guys want to hang out, I appreciate it. If you gotta go, then thank you for being here. I appreciate the support. So I'll put a little pinned comment here. I would advise you guys to stretch your legs, to hydrate, and do all that stuff too if you've been sitting for a while. There we go. I can type, I swear. Alright. Pin that, and I will see you guys on the flip side in a couple minutes here. And we're back. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that dance she was doing. It was kind of lascivious, wasn't it? Not appropriate for all ages. Christopher, do I stream on Twitch? Never. Well, not never. I did back in the day a couple times, but no, I don't. Twitch is a kind of a cesspool. And it's impossible to get started on Twitch because of the way like it shows videos or doesn't show videos. It was something. It was probably like the most PG-13 rated of all the dances that I've seen in WoW. It was from a French pop star. I have no idea. I wouldn't know anything about that.
A shot fell out.
Alright. The iron underwear should be derusted by now? Yeah, absolutely. After all that. Or serious chafing. What's better about streaming on YouTube? For me, it was that I've had my channel for like over 5 years now. So everybody just knew me from YouTube. It didn't make sense for me to stream on Twitch. I don't know how it would be for someone like starting fresh, because I had 5 years of recorded content under my belt before I ever went live on a stream. And that was kind of how I always wanted it. I felt like I thought I would stream when people when I thought people wanted me to, when enough people were interested in it. For a while, I never thought I would. But yeah, I don't really know what the environment is like for someone first getting started. But like the way Twitch shows like streams is like if you have a stream and you're starting off and you only have a couple people watching, like on that page, like no one's ever gonna see your stream. And so I don't know if the YouTube algorithm handles it any differently. But when I look at my YouTube recommends, I often see streams recommended to me where like only 5 people have watched or only 20 people are watching. And that kind of thing would never happen on Twitch. Twitch would never show someone on the front page like a stream that only 5 or 20 people were watching. The other cool thing about YouTube is that YouTube lets you stream in 1440. You might notice you're maybe watching this in 1440 right now instead of 1080, so it looks about 1,000,000 times better. Whereas everything on Twitch looks like hot garbage because it's capped at 1080 and the bitrate is capped at like 9,000 kilobits a second. So everything looks like garbage on Twitch, and on YouTube things look a little bit better. Those are some positives. Can you stream on both platforms at the same time, at the exact same moment? I don't think they would care unless you were somebody. Unless you were like signed by Twitch, I don't think they give a crap. Yeah, but that's not like, I have not looked into the legalities of it, but I don't think they care. If you're not someone who's been signed by Twitch to exclusively stream on Twitch, then they probably don't care about what you do. With streaming on YouTube, I'm pretty sure you can create your account and go live. I don't think you need any minimum requirements just to go live. You should be able to do it whenever. My second channel is not even monetized, and I could go live on that channel if I wanted to.
Hello. Good luck, friend. Goddess, watch over you. Greetings. Go in peace.
Yeah, I just feel like Twitch is probably, I don't think Twitch is on its way out, but like Twitch gets harder and harder for new creators every day. They have all kinds of requirements as far as like how many ads, when ads play, like, I don't know. I feel like they make it harder and harder for like new content creators to stream on Twitch every day, every month. It gets more difficult for that. Whereas I feel like YouTube wants to pull people in, and it really has an interest in growing that side of their business. So they probably make it a little bit more accessible to people. Okay, so Tools of the Highborn, Bashalaran. Yeah, let's go up here. We need to go up here and talk to this guy. That's what we're gonna do next. Karen, thanks for being here. Everything is okay. I had a rough sleep last night, and by rough sleep I mean no sleep, but I caught a nap this morning before the stream, and yeah, the day's been going pretty well after that. I've been able to maintain an appropriate level of energy for being awake and alive, so that's good. So the one difference between my old keyboard and my new keyboard is my old keyboard had a little, like, you know the little dots on the WASD? Like usually the W will have like a little tactile marker on it to like tell you where the WASD keys are at. This keyboard does not have any like tactile like little dot or nub on my W key. So if my hand slides off home row, like it's hard for me to find my WASD. And that's been the only downside of my new keyboard. Is that it does, maybe I can swap those keys out. I bet I can get like different WASD keys. I need something with like texture on them so that if my hands slide off home row, I can like easily find my WASD key again. It helps when I'm trying to one-hand the keyboard and drink coffee while steering my character with the keyboard. Yeah, my old keyboard had like a little nub. For lack of a better thing to call it, it had a little nub on my W key. It made it super easy to like find it if my hands came off. Karen, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I had a rough couple of days too, so today will be better. RNG notwithstanding. I've learned that RNG can come along and F up a perfectly good day. Somebody, the other day, in the afternoon, I went to pick up my kid, and I parked my car in the parking lot waiting for dismissal. And some lady tried to turn into the parking spot next to me, and ran her truck right into the side passenger door of my car. Because she apparently could not navigate a big effing truck to get it into a parking spot. And then, like, not only did she, like, hit it, she hit it and kind of like kept going for a second, as if she couldn't believe or didn't understand that anything had happened. That was what ruined my day the other day. Yeah, and so like, and the shitty thing is, at first I just noticed a couple scratches. that I knew could be like buffed out and wheeled out, so like I didn't really like care too much. And also like with insurance being a scam, I knew that like ultimately insurance wasn't going to do anything. So I didn't get her information or anything. But it turns out like the lower part of my door kind of got dented in. Like there's like, it's almost like a textured little wave on the bottom part of my door. I don't think it broke the clear coat in any places, so like I don't think it's gonna rust out. But it's really fucking annoying. and I cursed her out a little bit, so I was kind of, I wasn't disappointed that I cursed her out. I didn't yell at her or anything, but she was like, do you want my insurance information? And looking at her truck, she probably had what's called no-fault insurance. And no-fault insurance is the thing in Michigan that you pay for to legally drive your car, but it doesn't actually pay for anything from like an insurance standpoint. It just makes it so that when a cop pulls you over for speeding, they can't write you another ticket because you have no-fault insurance. And so I was like, I don't want your effing insurance. I want you to learn how to effing drive your effing truck. It's a school parking lot. There are effing kids here. If you don't know how to drive your big effing truck, then don't effing drive it. Was basically what I said to this person. So that was how that went. I dropped a lot of F-bombs. Yeah. Because that was my first thought, is like this dumb person is driving this enormous truck. They're in a school parking lot. She told me that her grandson was sick and she had been distracted all day. It's like, okay, cool, now you have your giant murder truck in a school parking lot, and you don't even know when you're running into a fucking car, so how are you going to tell when you're running over a kid that you can't even see? If you don't know when you're running into a parked car, how are you going to know when you're running into a kid? You're not going to know. You're not going to know. And so that was the biggest reason why I got irate enough to curse her out. But yeah, that was how that went. I felt it with Garrett, like I felt like it was a fair response too. Yeah, and like, you know, I kind of waited. I thought like maybe someone will want to have a follow-up conversation with me, but nope, nobody did. And I'm not good at like remembering faces if I only see somebody one time. So it's like she was an older lady with gray hair, and that could be like any of the thousands of people there to pick up kids. Could have been anybody. And so, like, yeah, I was a little bit disappointed in how many F-bombs I dropped, but, like, ultimately I felt like it was fair. Because all I thought is, like, this is a person who's going to back up right over a kid. You know? If they hit my car and kept turning into it, after the initial contact, they kept turning into it. If they did that, they're going to go bump, bump, and they're going to go right over a kid one day. It's like people drive these big trucks when they shouldn't. People will be like, oh, a lot of times I feel like it's probably not their main car. She's probably like, I'm gonna take my husband's truck to go pick up the kid. Please don't do that. If you're not used to driving a big truck and you don't have any practice driving a big truck and you're not experienced driving a big truck, you have no right to get behind the wheel of a big truck. They're fucking dangerous. They have very limited lines of sight in front of the vehicle unless you have a front-facing camera, and this was an older one that it didn't have that technology. And so my biggest pet peeve is when like people who don't know how to drive big ass trucks because America, and they don't know what they're doing. I feel like why do we not need to have a special license to prove you can drive your giant ass F-350? Because most of these people can't do it. She was a granny that wasn't driving like a granny. That was the problem. She was just driving the car. Like, we're going into the parking spot. Oh, there's another car here? Oh, well. Yeah, I hate it. You should, if you're driving anything bigger than like a Ford Ranger, you should have to have a special certification so that someone has tested you and that they know you know how to drive the fucking thing, because like trucks are big. You go get yourself a big old truck, and you were driving like a Nissan Versa before that. Suddenly you're driving this giant truck. You know, it's not the same at all. It is not the same. I watch it all the time. I watch these people like that's the thing. Like I messed up. I should never have parked where there was an open spot next to me. So now I've learned like a valuable life lesson. Never park at a school parking lot when there's an open spot next to you. Because I've watched these people try to park, not that particular person, but I watched the other school moms and school dads try to park their big trucks, and it'll take them like 3 times to back the truck into a spot. Even though you know it has a reverse camera, they still can't get the truck into the spot. They're pulling forward, and they don't realize that when they go forward, if they don't cut their wheel, if they just reverse, they're going to end up back in the same spot over. So they'll pull forward, go back, and then they look confused. And they pull forward, and they go back, and they look confused. Then they pull forward and turn the wheel a little bit. The car goes the other way. They look confused. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you driving this car? Why don't you go get yourself a nice little Ford Taurus? It was just one of those days that oftentimes I feel like I don't give humans enough credit. Oftentimes I get made to believe that I'm like kind of an a-hole who thinks everyone else is stupid. And so I often think like, yeah, I probably am an a-hole. People probably aren't as stupid as I think they are. And then someone does something like that and I'm like, no, people are just as effing stupid as I think they are. In fact, they're probably more heinously stupid and dangerous than I believe. That was kind of like the depressing part, is I just realized that like, no, people are dumb and inattentive and will do dangerous stuff because of how stupid they are. Yeah, to need giant trucks for the heck of it. That's what this was. Yeah, I hate that too. And I know it's America, and I'm supposed to believe in the right to own the biggest effing truck that you can for no good reason. But I don't. I don't believe in that. I believe that if you have a giant ass truck, it should be for work. You know, if you have anything bigger than an F-150, it should be for work. It should have a purpose. Because roads are not enormous, parking spots are not enormous, and the ability to just go out and buy the biggest truck you can and then drive it on the roads, like, that's not safe. Because a lot of these people can't drive anyway. A lot of them can't drive smaller cars safely, and then we will sell you the biggest truck you can afford. Just for the hell of it, just so you can try to pull it into a school parking lot, run over 6 kids in a car, and it's fine because it's America. And that's what this was. It was a lady driving a big ass truck. It probably wasn't even her truck, you know. So I'll never see her in that truck again because she'll never bring that truck to pick up again. So I'll never see that truck. It was a blue Ford F350 or F250. It was like a 2001 or something. So I'll never see that truck again because I guarantee that when she went home and told her husband like what happened, he was probably like, "You're not driving the truck anymore." And I'm not trying to be sexist with that. I'm just saying that it probably was not her truck. If it was, then she's probably hit people before. Yeah, they have so many blind spots. Like, the bigger the truck, the more blind spots it has. And people don't realize there's a lot of blind spots in front of your car. I'm not convinced she saw my car at all. I'm not convinced she saw it at all. And she was pulling into the spot. It wasn't even like she was backing in. She was literally just trying to pull into the open spot next to me. And just right along the side of my passenger door. I had enough time to put my head down on the wheel, like one of these, while she was still trying to pull forward through my vehicle. And then, of course, I get out ready to just, like, tear somebody up. You know, I get out, and it's a woman. And it's an older lady. And so all I can do is drop some F-bombs. It's never just, like, some asshole, you know? It's always a situation where, like, you can't do anything. It was bad. And I wanted the argument, I wanted the fight, and then I felt, like, even guiltier about that. It was internally and emotionally like a rough afternoon. Not just because the car got dented, but because of like all my reactions and just my acknowledgement that when I got out of the car, I wanted the fight and I wanted the argument and I wanted to like put in this person's face how effing stupid they were. And I couldn't really go all that way with an old lady. I told her I didn't want her effing insurance and I chewed her out a little bit. while I took some pictures of the damage. And that was all I got to do. And then I felt guilty about wanting more confrontation than that. Eric says, I could run into your other door. I am some asshole. It would have been bad. It would have ended badly for somebody if they had just been some a-hole. And not some, like, scared old lady. So, like, partially that's fine. But, yeah. And now that's, I've learned that, like, now I have to find the parking spots where there's no empty spot next to my car. Yeah, now I look, and I know that now. It's like lesson learned. Lesson learned. Next new car we get, now it won't get dented in. Something else will happen to it, but now someone won't drive right into the freaking passenger door of it. Because now I know that you have to park between other cars, because that's the only thing that's safe. I never thought that someone would just like run into my car in a parking lot while I'm sitting in it. It was like, I was like, oh my god, people are so stupid. People are dumber than you can even believe. And yeah, they're distracted. She's like, my grandson is sick. I've been distracted all day. You've been distracted all day and you're driving this truck through a school parking lot at pickup time? Not a good look. Not a good look. Robert, you say frack more nowadays? You have grandkids that are little mimics? Yeah. I probably swear too much. I swear when I'm emotional about something. Like when I'm emotional about something, I don't hold back. Because to me, like, those words are reserved to express strong emotions. Like, those words are reserved to have an impact. Like, and so when I want to have an impact on somebody verbally, I use those curse words. And I just like, cause that's all I can do. When I realized I couldn't do anything else, like the curse words were like my only recourse. It was my only way to make an impact on her that I thought like might stick with her to a point where maybe she won't kill a kid someday running them over. Cause she's distracted in her giant ass truck. It could have been worse. She could have blamed me for parking there. Then I would have had more to say, yeah. Camping, the warriors leveling faster than the pally? Yeah, the kill rate. It's the warriors' kill rate. We can get out of here, can't we? Yeah, the warrior's going to be killing stuff a lot faster. And so that's going to make the leveling seem quicker to some extent. Ban pickups for non-commercial use? Yeah. Yeah, I'd be down with that, but it's America. And you have to be able, you have to have the freedom to buy the biggest, most useless truck you can, and then not use it for anything reasonable. Yeah, use it to run over small kids and other people's cars on accident. Because America. But yeah, I like I said, I'll give you up to like an F-150. You just want a truck to drive around in? Like, I'll give you up to the size of an F-150. And that's fine. But like anything bigger than that, you should have to be licensed to drive it. You should have to go take a test, multiple tests preferably, and prove that you can operate the big ass truck safely. But also, furthermore, I feel like there should be restrictions on who can own them to begin with. Like, let's say you live in a rural area where there are dirt roads. There you go. Take your test, get your F-450, you're set. You have a ranch, you got hay bales to move around and shit. Okay, take your test, get your F-450, there you go, you're good to go. You live in the suburbs, and all you really do is go to the grocery store and take your kids to school? F you. You don't get an F-450. You don't get one. It's not for you. Parking spots are small. Suburb roads are small. You don't need it. That's how I feel. Shadow says, you're just asking for a revolt. Yeah. I know. Oh, I know. Trust me. I get it. I definitely get it. We're going to go down here and work on the fall of a Metheron. We also have Aenea's pendant to get and some highborn relics. See, Daniel, that's the dumbest take I've ever heard. Exactly. Exactly. It's the dumbest take until a grandma runs over a kid in her F-450. And then you're like, damn, does she need that truck? But yeah, I get it. It's America. You should be able to do whatever you want regardless of the consequences. regardless of your ability to do the thing. Can't operate a truck safely? Who cares? Drive it anyway. You have no training to drive the truck, no experience, and you're bad at it. Who gives a shit? Go ahead, drive it on the roads with other people. It doesn't matter that you've never driven anything that big. It doesn't matter that your last car was a Ford Escort. Go ahead, have at it. Who cares about safety? Who cares? Why should you have to get licensed for it? It's just a giant truck bigger than anything you've had any experience with. Who cares? She needs that truck. What else is she gonna drive? Right, exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing, like, she can drive it. Get licensed for it. You should have to get licensed for different classes of vehicles. Your standard license, you know, you can drive anything up to an F-150. You could drive a Jeep. You know, you want to drive a huge-ass truck, you should have to go get licensed for it. You should have to go take some tests. You know, just so a driving expert can kind of see, like, can this person safely park? Can this person safely change lanes? Does this person, are they aware of the dead spots in their vision in this vehicle? Like, I think that's pretty reasonable. I don't think that's a complete shit take. I understand we can't stop people from purchasing stuff because it's America. But I do believe that we should require people to be licensed for the giant deadly death machines they drive. You want to drive a death machine? I think you should have to go get licensed for it. It's pretty easy. Yeah, it's pretty easy. Just to say that someone had to drive a certain class of vehicle has to go get a license, you know? Yeah, the bus drivers and the big truck drivers, they need a special license. And I don't think like for a normal person jumping into like an F350 or an F450, like, I'm a good driver. I don't even think I'd be comfortable with it. I'd have to go somewhere and get some practice in. I'd have to go to an empty parking lot and I'd have to practice some freaking maneuvers because I've never driven anything that big. And I'm a good driver and I'm not distracted.
Good luck, friend.
But I wouldn't feel comfortable just jumping in one and making it my everyday vehicle after driving a Ford EcoSport for the last 3 years. You know what I mean? But that's the kind of stuff people do. They'll get used to driving a Ford EcoSport, and then they'll get themselves a giant F350, or they'll take their husband's car, or their wife's truck, or whatever, and they'll go out in it even though they don't have the experience, or like the muscle memory, or the awareness to do it. And I think that's wrong, and I think it's irresponsible. And if you think that requiring someone to have like license and practice and be safe, if you think that's a shit take, then you're probably shit. If you think that that's wrong to require someone to have training, to have a license, and to have experience before they put their lives and the lives of others in danger, then that's a shit take. Yeah, Jason, exactly. People can drive small cars bad too. That's my point, is I've seen people do dumb shit in normal sized cars. Not cars with a million blind spots that you can't tell where the ass end of the vehicle is or where the front end is even going. Like, people are bad at driving. Like, they're just bad. And so requiring someone to get a special license for an enormous truck, I think that's completely reasonable. I don't know. Anyway, that's what happened to me the other day, and that's my truck rant for today. We don't often get a big truck rant, but there it is. And you know, give it a while. Give it 10 years when all cars have to be electric, and then you probably won't see trucks quite as big for like just pedestrian use. In 10 years when everything has to be electric, you just probably won't see as many trucks that are that big for like pedestrian usage. That's what I thought about that too, Shadow. I'm like, man, if she had a self-parking car with some sensors on it and not a 2002 giant-ass truck, this would never have happened. Like, if she had something with front sensors on it, that would just beep at her as she's about to crunch my car door. Or as she's continuing to crunch the car door. Like, if she had some kind of, even just some kind of sensors, not even a self-parking mechanism, but just a goddamn sensor to tell her, hey, lady, that's a car you're running into. You can't feel it because you're in a big truck, but you're running into a parked car right now. Hey, lady. But no sensor. She couldn't even hear the folding metal. Oh yeah, when she saw me get out of the car, she was probably scared. At first she was like, did I hit your mirror? I'm like, did you hit my fucking mirror? My mirror? Look at the door. What do you mean the fucking mirror? Do you want my insurance information? F your insurance information. I want you to learn how to drive. Yeah, she was, and she probably knows exactly what I look like because I stand out. And I don't know who she is because like I looked at her face, but I don't remember her face because my brain is very bad at storing the faces of people. So I know that she had glasses on. I know that she had gray hair tied back into like a ponytail, and I know she was of a medium height and the normal-ish build. And that's all. I don't know if I could pick her out in the crowd of grandmas and moms that congregate at the school to pick up kids. Like I probably could not pick her out of a lineup for all of having stared at her. Like, I can't do it. But she knows who I am, and now she sees me every day and she thinks about the interaction that we had. And about the interactions we didn't have, because it could have been a lot worse. Yeah, I'm probably the tallest person standing at parent pickup. Like, I'm probably the tallest, biggest person that stands at parent pickup, so like I stick out. And so that's the uncomfortable part, is like she knows exactly who I am. I don't know who the hell she is. I was hoping she would tell like one of her family members about being cussed out so that they could come have a conversation with me and then I could cuss somebody else out. That's what I hoped for, but it's been a day, it's been 2 days and it hasn't happened. So I don't think I'm ever going to get the opportunity to cuss somebody else out about it. And the thing is, like, I probably look like a huge a-hole anyway. When I'm standing there waiting for my kid to come out, I don't look like a happy person that you'd ever want to interact with. That's the other thing. Even if someone wanted to come have a convo with me, they'd probably take a look at me and my facial expressions, and they probably would be like, nah, I'll pass. And also, like, unfortunately, what it taught me was something else, was that, like, maybe I should have the biggest truck that exists. That's what I learned. I'm like, it's an arms race. Like, if I don't want my little car to get ran over, like, then I guess I need to have the biggest truck that exists. I don't really want a big truck the biggest truck that exists, but, like, I guess that's what has to happen next. Is I gotta find myself the biggest truck. And I gotta park it right on the line, not in the spot. I'm gonna park it right on the line between 2 spots. That's what I learned I have to do. I have to get the biggest truck and I have to park it in the stupidest way, and then that way, like, no one will ever run into my truck while they're trying to park their car. You know? Because it's like a literal arms race. And so that's the next car. The next car is just gonna have to be the biggest effing truck we can afford. But it's gonna have front-facing cameras on it, so I'm not gonna run over any kids, and I'm not gonna run into any cars. But apparently, like, it is a literal arms race. If you don't want to get run over, you have to have the truck that can do the running over. That's all there is to it. My little EcoSport is gonna get crushed out of existence before, like, you know, before it's all said and done. Yeah, I'm a big guy in a little car, and she was a little grandma in a big truck. It was like, it's incongruous, and we need congruency. Pickup trucks with 8 wheels for normal use? Yeah, you know, a couple days ago I'd have said no way, but now I'm starting to think that is the way. I want 16 wheels, and I want 3 feet of lift. And it just has to be like basically monster truck size. I want a ladder that I have to climb to get into it. I want cameras that have to be mounted underneath it so I can see the cars that I'm driving over, you know? It needs front-facing camera, rear-facing camera, and down-facing camera. Next time if I drive a huge truck, yeah, exactly. If I had the biggest truck, she would not have pulled her truck into my truck. And if she had pulled her truck into my truck, like, my truck would be, like, she wouldn't have hit a door, she'd have hit, like, the foot rail, or like, the metal bumper. Like, she wouldn't have just crammed right into my plastic steel freaking door of my little EcoSport and crumpled the bottom of it in. It's all wavy now, it's got, like, a wavy pattern to it. It almost looks intentional. 4 miles ago, oh yeah, in tactical for me it'd be perfect, because, like, we barely drive. Like, unless we're going on a trip, which is very rare, like, we don't drive a lot. Neither me nor my wife commute to work. My kid's school is 3 miles away. That's like the only daily driving that I do, is to go pick my kid up and drop him off. The grocery store is really close because we live in the suburbs. So for me, like, having something that gets 4 miles to the gallon, like, that's not going to be a huge detriment to me. Like, having an EcoSport doesn't matter because, like, we don't do a lot of driving anyway. But yeah, I've learned that that's going to be the only way to be safe. If I hit her, yeah, Richard, if I pulled into a spot and I hit somebody, I would get out of my car super apologetic and concerned. She got out of her car and she said, "Oh, did I hit your mirror?" After crunching in the side of my door. While I sat there with my head in my hands listening to it happen. I've been reading on my phone, I've been reading on my Kindle app, and I just see in my periphery a big truck and I hear and it just went on and on. And then she gets out and says, "Did I hit your mirror?" I don't use the B word, but I got close. I never use the B word talking to other humans, but I got really effing close to it when she asked me if she hit my mirror. Because she knew she didn't just hit my mirror. They can get out and grin and they claim no English. No English? We can't have a combo about this. No, when someone does something heinously stupid, I am not a very forgiving person. When someone does something to me that is heinously stupid, and I've done nothing to incite it, I don't have a lot of patience for it. If we had been in a fender bender, it'd be different. If I was at a red light and we had had a collision, Then I would have asked if they were okay. We didn't have a collision. There was no accident. There was stupidity. She crunched into my car, pulling into a parking spot, barely moving, and continued to do so. And so I am not gonna. I have no kindness in me for someone that does that, who does something so stupid in a parking lot that is about to be full of kids and parents running out to their own vehicles. We were minutes away from release when the parking lot was going to be full of small children, much smaller than my Ford EcoSport. So all I could think of in that scenario is, like, if me and my kid had been walking by, she'd have crushed my kid against my car. She'd have crushed him out of existence with her stupidity. That was what I thought about. That was why I started swearing at her. And I did not swear as hard as I could have. I dropped about 4 F-bombs, interlaced between actual language. Because yeah, I don't have any kindness for stupid people that endanger people's safety. Not a single iota. They don't. They don't deserve kindness when they've done something that could have killed somebody. But like I said, accidents are one thing. If two people are involved in an accident, that's different. If one person does something heinously stupid and dangerous, that's a whole different thing. It's an entirely different thing. But one of my pet peeves is when people drive stupidly at the school, because people do it all the time. They're in a rush to get their kid to school because they gotta go to work. They're in a rush to get their kid home from school because they gotta make dinner, and they're rushing through the effing parking lot. They're pulling out, they're zipping through, and it just drives me crazy. And so it's already like an area where I can be highly triggered by people's stupidity, and then for that to happen, like I said, it was good that she was an old grandma, because I probably would have made the situation worse for myself had it been like just a human male of my own size. Like I would have made the situation a lot worse with my rage, because nothing upsets me more than people being dangerous where kids are involved. A little background: like back when we lived in Missouri, my kid went to a daycare downtown, and one of his daycare classmates got hit by a car and died, like a block from the daycare, because the child and the parent were crossing a crosswalk and it was their time to go, and a car just boom zipped through and the kid died. He's 3 years old. Went to the same daycare that my kid went to, a block away from the daycare. So that's a little bit of background about like my rage when it comes to the safety of children at their school. Yeah, exactly, Dan. Yeah, exactly. Anybody's kid. The fact that it could have been anybody's kid. Like, the fact that it could have been my kid, yes. But the fact that, like, we were moments from the parking lot being full of kids. Like, it could have been anybody. And her excuse was that she was distracted because her grandson had been sick all day. And that wasn't even a current thing that was happening. That was just the thing in her day that made her so unaware of her surroundings that she hit a car. If you can hit a car that's parked, you can kill a kid. And so, like I said, I already have a history with like school kids and cars and bad things happening. So it's definitely a trigger point. Yeah, if anybody had been standing by the door or getting out, or even like if someone had been walking past my car to get to their spot, she would have crunched them. Like, she didn't see it, she didn't know, she didn't care, she didn't look, she didn't hear when it started, and then to get on and say, did I hit your mirror? No. You missed the mirror. You went under the mirror into the door. The mirror was not involved. I wish you had just knocked off the mirror somehow. This guy's gonna come back. He'll come back, or he'll bleed out over there. Either way, it's fine. Yeah, like I said, I looked for that truck yesterday and I didn't see it because I do know exactly what the truck looks like, and I'm convinced that she will never drive that truck to that school again. I doubt that anybody will drive that truck to that school again because I took pictures of the license plate too. And I don't think anybody, whoever is involved, whoever the family is, I don't think that they're ever going to bring that truck to that school again. So I didn't see it pulling it all yesterday, and I didn't see it in the parking lot. And it's great, and now every time I go outside to get in my car, I get to look at my dented-in door, and I get to remind myself a couple of things. You know, people are heinously dumb. I'm not an a-hole for thinking people are stupid. They are stupid. And also, like, when you step outside your door, anything could happen to you. Anything could happen to you, regardless of what you're doing, regardless of how safe you're being, regardless of where you're at. Any random thing can and will happen. And so now I get to have that constant reminder every day I go outside and look at my passenger side door. It's great. She had no fault insurance, David. In Michigan we have this thing called no fault insurance, and I don't know if other states are the same. But no fault insurance doesn't cover anything. It doesn't do anything in the event of an accident. It doesn't pay for anything in the event of damage. No fault insurance is what you pay an insurance company in Michigan so that your car can be legal to drive. It's when you have a car that's paid off. Like, this was an older truck. You know, it wasn't a new vehicle they were making payments on or anything. And so when you have an older car in Michigan that's like kind of an older vehicle, you get no fault insurance. It doesn't pay for anything. It doesn't do anything. It makes it so that if a cop pulls you over, you can hand them the insurance slip and you don't get a ticket for not having insurance. And so like her insurance like wouldn't have paid anything anyway. We have full coverage on our car, but also insurance is kind of a scam these days and doesn't really pay for much. Like even with insurance, even with full coverage insurance, to take it to a body shop and have them ding out the dent and bondo it and repaint the door and rehang the door, it's going to cost like $500 to $800. And insurance isn't going to do anything about it. Because these days, like, and I worked at a collision shop back in the day, and I kind of saw the transition from when insurance companies were willing to pay a lot. This car shop did really well, and I was there through a phase where like the insurance companies became unwilling more and more to like actually pay money. And so like these days they don't pay for hardly anything. They want it to come out of pocket. Ra, you hit 50 on the Warrior? Dude, that's awesome, man. Now go slow after 50. I keep thinking about Alex's Warlock that got to level 58 on Bloodstone Buccaneers. Go slow now after 50. Give him a little rest, maybe. Tactical, is that true? In Mulgore, if you attack a Planestrider and there are Kodos around, the Kodos will attack you? I know that sometimes if you attack a non-aggressive mob and there are other non-aggressive mobs of its type around, they will attack you. I didn't know that like some other creatures would step in and act defensively. That's super interesting. And kind of scary. He'll come back. He has nowhere to go. Ra, you're gonna do Mahradon? Ooh, be careful, man. Be careful in Mahradon. I feel like there are parts of Mahradon that are kind of a shit show. Mahradon is not a dungeon that I've done a lot. The last time I did Mahradon, it took us 3.5 hours to clear it. It was longer than a lot of raids that I sat through. The Kodos protect the Planestriders. That's so awesome. Alright, what do we want to be working? I never found Anea or her pendant. For some reason I had the memory that I found her, but no, we never found her. Moonstalker fangs. We can get, it says there's rabid thistlebears down there, but I don't know if I saw any. Maybe I should focus up and get a little bit done. I appreciate you guys letting me rant. and to kind of get it all off my chest. I didn't want to talk about it yesterday because it was all much more raw. But I appreciate you guys being here. Ra, I would say have an escape plan. Like every pull, have an escape plan. Cause yeah, I haven't done a lot of Maraudon just because of how long it is, but I remember like parts of it being pretty sketchy. And I don't think I've ever done a similar to like Blackrock and Lower Blackrock Spire. I don't think I've ever done a Maraudon run where we haven't wiped at least once. Now maybe people will just play like a little bit differently on hardcore, but yeah, I know that like every time I've ever done a Maraudon run, there's been at least one wipe. And I know that because of like, it's a memorable run to get back to the dungeon entrance. So I know that every time I've been there I've wiped. So Adea should be pathing somewhere around here. I'll do a slash target and we'll see if we can get eyes on her. Last time it was kind of hard to find her. Let's see. Yeah, she's not up anywhere nearby. Dan, you want me to do Nomer on my pally? No. Nope. Nomer is on the no-fly list. Yeah, she might not be alive right now. Yeah, Nomer, more like Nomer. Exactly, Ra. It's not Nomer, it's more like Nomer. Inventory full. That is sad. I would love to kill this lady while we're down here and not have to come back for it. But yeah, I haven't been able to target her at all. I liked the 5 days when the name guys had it. Remember when the name guys had a 10-second respawn for those first 5 days of hardcore? Like you'd kill a name guy, 10 seconds later it'd be back up. I kind of miss that. They subtly got rid of that. What they did was they increased the amount of layers, and they put the name guy respawn times back to like normal, which is kind of a shame. Okay. Well, what else can we do? We can go capture a rabid thistlebear, it says. Yeah, hashtag inventory full. Yeah, it's rough. What do I have that I don't need? I don't need the milk. That doesn't vendor for a lot. Let's capture this rabid thistlebear. We don't have to run him all the way back if we don't run him all. If we don't run him all the way back, we still get credit. Okay. Okay, there we go, yeah. He'll follow us around for a bit. Eventually he will time out, but even if he times out, we still get credit for completing the quest. Yeah, you don't actually have to get him back to town. It's really weird how you don't have to get him back to town, but you don't. She's a non-aggressive. That's what it is too. Okay, so she would be easy. There she is. Yeah, okay. She's easily visible because she's a non-aggressive enemy. Okay. I'm glad. As soon as I remembered that, of course, there she was. I'm gonna tag her. I know that puts us in kind of a little spot here, but I want to get a tag on her before someone else rolls up and takes her from me. We have potions if we need it, but yeah, we'll probably need a potion, but it's fine. We have one potion. I need to get more healing pots. I thought I had some bigger ones. I do. I'm gonna pop that. There we go. That was what we needed. Let's move those out to the bar. Perfect. Alright. Cool, cool, cool. Now I think we can head back. The Moonstalker fangs, like, we can kind of get those as we go. Apparently they drop from the lower level ones now, even though I swear they used to only drop from level 14 and up. I could come grab the beached turtle. Let's go grab a beached turtle, and we'll take that one back with us as well. I know I'm gonna get like angry YouTube comments about my long rant about trucks. I can't wait to get all the YouTube comments. God. Oh, I should turn comments off for the VODs. I get YouTube comments on the VODs and like I shouldn't read the comments, but I often do anyway. And I especially shouldn't let them bother me, but I do anyway. I feel like if you want to comment on like the rants I go on, and you want to like call me out for my rants, you should be in the stream and do it in the stream. I wonder if I could turn YouTube comments off for the VODs. That eliminates getting like the positive comments too. But like anytime I rant about something on my stream, it just elicits people on YouTube to like come out of the woodwork with stuff that I really don't care to read, but I read anyway. Yeah, I know, Ra. I shouldn't let it bother me. Like, it just does. I'm like, it doesn't like bother me in a way that I like regret the things I said. It just bothers me. Like, I don't know why. Yeah, I just shouldn't read them. I know a couple words in like the way the comment's gonna go, and I should like bail out of reading it like once I get to that point. But I usually read it all. I kind of want to pick this green up. It's like I don't mind critical feedback in the streams, but I just wish people would like give me the critical feedback in the stream. Like you don't like what I'm talking about. Like I'd like to get that feedback like face to face, so to speak, not like from the VOD afterwards. Humans humaning, yes. That's what I always come back to. Like it's so weird. Like yeah, it's just my opinion, and a lot of it is like just my experiences and my opinions. I'm just not used to that kind of stuff on YouTube. You know, after years of only doing like recorded stuff and not really like talking a lot about like personal issues and personal things that I go through. Like, you know, because in the recorded stuff, that stuff doesn't really come up. So I'm just not used to seeing like the afterthought comments from people that can sit there. They get to sit there and like kind of pick it apart and like, you know, they're not with it like in real time as I'm talking about it. So it's like it must be so easy to like pick it apart and formulate such a long reply. A lot of them were just like the paragraph replies that I think like, how long did you sculpt this reply? Like how many AI chatbots did you run it through to make it better? It's like ChatGPT. Give me a negative comment for Robert's stupid rant about trucks. And then ChatGPT sculpts the ultimate comment. And then they post it. ChatGPT, type me a paragraph about why Robert's opinions are invalid. And it's like, damn, okay. Blood Moon, that's hilarious. And I'm sorry.
Go in peace.
I wouldn't advise anybody to be like me. I got a lot of issues. As people in the YouTube comments will tell you, I got some issues. Some deep-seated ones.
I am honored. Till next we meet.
We've made quite a little chunk of progress here. Despite the fact that I've barely been paying attention to playing the game, we have made quite a chunk of progress. Did I ever go visit the Red Crystal? I did not. I did not go visit the Red Crystal. Let's go turn these in, then we'll go do that. That would have been an easy thing to do while we were out and about. Even with a full inventory. And we still have our bear friend with us.
Ishnu Allah.
Just surprising.
Be careful. Illuminate your
Oh yeah, now we have to kill 20 of them. He's like, nah, that didn't work. Couldn't cleanse him. Go murder them.
Ishnu
Oh, okay.
Allah.
Sure.
Farewell.
Go talk to this guy who we've already talked to. Wait, what do you have?
What brings you here?
Trek to Ashenvale. Okay, not gonna take that one right now. We will do Ashenvale. We will do some Ashenvale stuff. Just not today. What I have to do is where it says like chill stream, I have to put mostly in parentheses. Mostly chill stream. I think if I do that, maybe that'll cut down on some of the comments. Probably not, but I'll feel better about it. Mostly 80% chill
goods
stream.
are of the highest quality.
But Kingston, they're rabid. Yeah, I get you. But just remind yourself that like they were already too far gone. It'd be like killing walkers in the Walking Dead world. Like they're not people anymore. Just think of it like that. Like think of it like they're not bears anymore. They were bears, and now they're rabid. You got to think about it like that. Yeah, they're not people anymore. Me and Amy have been watching The Walking Dead. I've been trying to get caught up to season 11 so that I can watch all the spin-offs and stuff. It's slow going. It's been slow going. Oh, my pinned comment? No! Amy, it's a little late to remind me about that now. Unpinned message. Listen to this. The pinned comments are in such a stupid place that like I don't even see them to take them off. That's how much of a stupid place they're like. I put the pinned comment there.
Peace.
I know exactly where it's at, and I don't even look up there. I don't even see it so that I can remove it. It's just like it's not even there to me. How could I expect other people to read it if I don't even see it to take it away? Yeah, Kingston, we just finished season 8. We're moving into season 9. Season 9, the season where they write Rick out of the show. Which, like, that was when I kind of detached from the show, but, like, then, because I thought the show would die after that, but then the show kept going, and now they're doing all kinds of spin-offs and stuff. And so now I have to, actually go watch from season 9 onward, even though I don't know if I really want to. I don't know how, like, interested I am in a Walking Dead without Rick Grimes.
Great to meet you.
But I'm gonna find out.
Safe travel.
Have we watched any of the Hannibal series? I have not. Is that a network show? Is that a show that runs on a network? These days, I feel like I only watch shows that are on streaming services. Like, I can't remember the last time I watched a show. The last time I watched a show seriously that was on a network was Fringe. Fringe back on Fox back in the day. Like Fringe was an amazing show that got cut too short, and that was the last show that was on a network that I watched. I gotta mail the cloth tactically. I got too much of it. Like I'm gonna keep some of it, but I got too much of it. Jesus. Ooh. And then what I'll do is I'll hit return on it whenever I'm like ready for it. I'm gonna keep a little bit of it. I'll keep the rest. There we go. Yeah, that was a lot of linen. Dan, you're watching Fringe right now? Oh man, dude, Fringe is so good. It was so good. It was good right up until it ended. Right up until it ended, every part of it was good. It didn't get bad and then end. It got so good, and then it ended. Cause like Fringe was like too much of like a smarty pants show for like network TV. It was like thoughtful sci-fi. And it just, I think it was too thoughtful for like the general audiences. Yeah, but man, what an amazing show. I would love, I know it's never gonna happen, but I would love for like Netflix or Amazon or somebody to pick Fringe up and to go back into Fringe. Like, oh man. Such a great show. Such good acting. Everything about it was good. It still stands up today, you know? It's an older show now at this point, but it still stands up today, I feel like. Let's go after this guy, right? Oh no, I need the red crystal and this guy. Let's go get the red crystal first. Yeah, John Noble's character. Yeah, absolutely. Like, all the actors were good, but he was obviously amazing. Like, for him to be in a TV show, like, such amazing acting. Oh my god. Like, if you think about, like, the different ways he played that character, not to, like, spoil anything for anybody, but, like, the different ways he played that character, like, it's incredible. I think there are a lot of people out there who do love Fringe, and who would definitely get into some Fringe if, like, Netflix or somebody picked it up. Like, I wouldn't... I don't think I'd want them to, like, reboot it or restart it or anything. I don't know how they could handle it, but I definitely would want the original cast back. Like, as much as possible, I would need to have the original cast back. I wouldn't just want, like, a new Fringe show, like, that did the same types of things. I would need something else. And with all the parallel universe stuff in that show, like, they could probably pull something off. They could probably pull off a kind of reboot that still kind of pushed forward the characters. Is that streamable anywhere? It's not. It used to be on Netflix back in the day, but then they took it off. I should watch that again. I should see where I can stream that, or if I'd have to, like, purchase it. It might be on Amazon. That would be cool. I know, like, X-Files is on Amazon Prime, and it's the same universe. It would make sense for it to be there, in a way. I'm gonna check. Moonkin! Raging Moonkin. Dan, you think HBO? I bet it's somewhere. I have HBO, I have Amazon Prime, I have basically every streaming service you could think of. We probably pay, like, way too much money in streaming services. So I bet I can get it on one of the streaming services I have. But sometimes it's a Fox show, so sometimes Fox likes to withhold shit. You know what I mean? Sometimes Fox likes to withhold shit. See how they, like, basically still own the X-Men intellectual property, like, so they can't even make Marvel X-Men movies yet. Although, no, Disney's making this cartoon, so maybe Disney has it now, but forever, like, Fox held on to it. Fox likes to hold on to stuff and not let it go, even when they're not doing anything with it. That's what makes me think that they might want to make me pay money to watch it. Like, more money than I already pay streaming services. But I'm gonna do a Google later and find out. 3 of them? Okay. We're fine. We'll kill all of them. This guy wants in on it too. Look, he's stumbling up to us like, can I get in on this? Like, no, I'd prefer you didn't. I would prefer you didn't get in on this. Are we gonna have to use a potion here? Like, potentially. But a potion might be... Let's potion up. Yeah, we're definitely standing our ground. Yeah, I'm not... I've ran on the warrior for the last time. Unless it's 5 mobs. If it's 5 mobs, then I'll probably run. But if it's 3 mobs and they're green, like, I learned that I always have to fight. I just shouldn't walk through these guys. Let's veer ourselves in a slightly different direction here. I'm looking forward to getting Piercing Howl. Causes all enemies near the warrior to be dazed, reducing their movement speed. This is like our runaway button. If we are gonna run away, we're gonna Piercing Howl. That's gonna be like the only button that makes running away, like, viable. Whereas, like, without Piercing Howl, you kind of just have to stand and fight and hope for the best. hamstring while we're running. Yeah, with a combination of hamstring and piercing howl, then we'll be able to run away. But like until then, no, not so much. Running away until then is not a very good idea. Justin, good afternoon, man. Thanks for being here. Jason, it's available on Prime and Max. I will check this out. I think I have to finish my Walking Dead run first, but then I'm definitely going to be watching Fringe. I'm just going to be sad again once it ends, you know. But I think the journey is still worth it. It's been so long since I watched any of it. Like a lot of the episodes will probably be fresh to me. Although I remember the overarching A plot. Like I mostly remember the A plot. But I bet some of like the individual episodes will still be fresh. I used to feel that way about the Warrior too, Dan, but what I realized, I embrace the concept that we do the most damage of any other class in the game. When you kind of like embrace that part of the class, like just the idea that like you do S tier DPS. And you just, and like with a shield especially, we're a lot more durable. So like when I embrace those two parts of it, like the S tier DPS coupled with the shield, then I can kind of like, then I'm okay with it. But yeah, for a while, it was like, oh no, like 2 enemies, no heal buttons, better run away. That's what it is. It's like you're on the Warrior and you're like, you don't have a heal button, you don't have a bubble, and so sometimes you can just be like, oh no, I have 3 enemies on me, like this is horrible. But a lot of times, it's not horrible, because you're doing amazing damage, and you have heavy armor. Alright, what else? Clear the 20 of them, that's a level 16. This one is a bit of a lower level. Maybe we ought to work on that. Maybe we can get some of the Moonstalker fangs like over this way. Elabig, I think it's because Achilles strike doesn't sound as good as hamstring. I get your point. I think it doesn't flow off the tongue as easy as hamstringing somebody. Also, to hamstring somebody is kind of like a metaphor for like slowing them down or like, you know, setting them up for failure. Like you hamstrung him. It's kind of like a linguistic metaphor for like, you know, literally slowing somebody down. Would slashing someone's Achilles F them up more? Possibly. Longer term it might, but like linguistically, I think hamstring works better. I think that's all it is. Yeah, Dan, you have nothing. You have no heal, no blink, no frost, no bubble. But what you do have are a special set of skills. And those skills involve like putting out top tier DPS. I've never heard of a liver punch. Sounds awful. Please don't punch me in my liver. Did I die recently? Not on any character, no. The last time I died was like a month ago on the level 27 Orc Warrior. And we got a level 27 Orc Warrior killed like a long time ago. The Pally's getting rested XP. Pally's level 35, and so they're just chilling for a bit. Yeah, the Pally's fine. The Pally's at a point where like they do need to rest sometimes. It's gonna help the Pally out a lot to have rested experience. Especially with like the slower kill rate of a Paladin. Rested XP is gonna be more important than like any other class.
How are you?
watch over you.
Alright, I think we'll go south and we will deal with the Blackwood Pathfinders and Windtalkers. Yeah, I might go like 1 day on, 1 day off. I don't know if like 1 day off is not a lot of rested XP. What is like a 24-hour of rested XP? It's like 3 bubbles? 4 bubbles maybe of rested for like a 24-hour sit. It's not a lot. Like I didn't play the Pally over the last weekend, and I feel like we burned through her rested in like the first hour or so on Monday, after having her seated for 2 days. It's like, yeah, you don't get a ton of rested to build up in just 1 day, but I might try to do like a 1 day on, 1 day off type of deal. The variety is also good, especially like I like the Paladin, but the Paladin's a little bit of a slower roll, you know? It's a little bit of a slower roll. Everything feels a little bit slower on it, so it's nice to have something like a Warrior that feels a lot faster, that feels just a little bit more action-packed. The kill rate's obviously really high. It's nice when you're playing a Paladin especially to have like another class to play that feels like a lot stronger and just has like a higher kill rate, just to kind of balance it out. I admire people who can be like super focused on one character. Like I really do. Like someone who can play one character and only one character, especially in classic era hardcore, where they can just play one character and get that all the way to 60. Like that's incredible to me. Like I don't think I could do that. I think I need to have like other characters to play. You know, I need to have other people to work into the rotation. If I made myself only play one character, I probably would get burned out, and I don't want to get burned out. and so that's really what it is. It's like if I made myself only play the Paladin, because that's part of what happened on Bloodsail Buccaneers was like mainly I was only playing the Paladin, and so like the burnout happened, and it just kept compounding. Like when burnout starts and you keep trying to go back to it, like the burnout compounds. You have to have a little break for a different character, like before burnout even sets in. You don't want the burnout to even ever set in. And like the Warrior kill rate is so fast that I feel like ultimately like rested XP is gonna matter a lot less on the Warrior. For how we feel about our progress and how we feel about like the progression of the character, rested XP is probably gonna matter a little bit less on a Warrior than it will on a Paladin. Same thing with kind of like the Mage. Like if we had a Mage and if we were doing like AoE pulls, like the rested XP would probably matter like a lot less than it would on a class like a Pally. But I think especially on a Paladin, it is kind of important to let them get rested XP and to like let them sit for a while. It's like I like, yeah, like I said, I admire people who can do it. But the game does feel much more engaging when you have multiple characters to play, because you're not in a rush to get the end game. You know, it is about the journey, and you have a different journey on each character you play. People ask me like, oh, don't you get sick playing the same stuff over and over again? The same quests? And my answer is no. No, because it feels different every time I do it. And we do it in a different order every time we do it, and different things happen to us every time we do it. And so I don't ever get sick of it. That's the reality of it. And it's like, I just want to enjoy the game. So like, that's what alts let me do. It's like having alts, if I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, you know, the Pallies have been pretty slow. We're not leveling really fast. You could really use some rested. If I had to play that character, like, I wouldn't enjoy it as much if that was my only choice. It's much better to have something else to pivot to. The rested XP accumulates a certain amount like maybe it's percentage based, a certain amount for the hours that you sit, like a percent of the level. Like I don't even know how the math works out, but I feel like it's something like you get 4 bubbles for every 24 hours or 3 bubbles for every 24 hours, but I think it's consistent across all the levels. So like even as you hit higher levels of gameplay, you're still getting those bubbles arrested every time you sit. So it's not like you sit for like 24 hours at level 17 and you get 10 bubbles, and then you sit for, you know, hours at level 30 and you get 2 bubbles. Like it's kind of consistent, I feel like. Yeah, I don't think you accumulate rested faster just because you're a lower level, or slower because you're a higher level. I think it's consistent. And somebody probably knows like the exact answer. But I feel like it's an exact percentage of like your leveling bar, no matter what level you are. I have to remind myself that like I have an interrupt, that I just haven't been using this interrupt at all. I could be interrupting the fairy fire. Joshua, what spec do I level as a warrior? Typically I go arms, but on this character we're going like full into fury. And we might, what's in arms? We might eventually grab something in arms. Nah, I don't really think I need any of that stuff. Protection. It might be nice to grab this eventually. Increase your chance to block. Yeah, this I think for going like sword and board the whole way, I think this will be a good grab. When would we want to grab that? After Piercing Howl. Maybe after Piercing Howl we grab shield spec. Cause I'm keeping a shield at least to level 30. I want to reach my highest level on a warrior by a couple levels before I think about taking the shield off. I might never take the shield off. So I think going into that might be good. You think deflection from arms as well for like a defensive like talent? Yeah. Chance to parry. I think definitely I grab shield spec at some point. Like probably after we grab Piercing Howl, and then we can talk about the other ones. We can talk about deflection. So I want to make sure we're still taking some talents that will like give us more damage and give us more output and more throughput. So like I don't want to start going like full into defensive stuff, but I feel like if we are going to have a shield on most of the time, having shield spec would be a really good idea. And then our next move might be like grabbing Enrage would be good. Improve Battle Shout would be good. Regeneration, I like things that regenerate my HP. So like I'm really attracted to these two talents. Enrage, we're not gonna dual wield, so I don't have to worry about this at all. We're not gonna dual wield. I don't want to grab too many survivability things that are like chances, because what I'd rather just deal more damage and kill stuff faster. Because I feel like that's kind of how a warrior lives. Like most of the time a warrior lives by killing stuff. When we're talking about dungeons where you have a healer, like the defensive stuff is really useful when you have a healer, you know? But like, when it comes to surviving in hardcore, the way you're going to do that on the warrior is by killing stuff faster. So I think grabbing shield spec would be okay. I don't know if I would also grab parry. Because I think I might want to just go into something that's going to give us more throughput, so that things just die a lot faster. Does parry give rage? I don't believe it does. I believe you have to be hit, or you have to hit to gain rage. We are done here. Let's run it back to town. Let's swing over to the red crystal and we'll douse it in the Moonwell water. Damon, you're playing a priest now. What other class would I recommend in Wrath of the Lich King? Everything's fun in Wrath. The great thing about Wrath of the Lich King is that all the classes are at a really good point. You know, like in vanilla, some classes are bad. Some specs are awful. But by Wrath of the Lich King, like everything is kind of good. It really depends on like what you're looking for. You're playing a caster, so you're playing a priest. Like maybe try a melee. Maybe try something like a rogue to give you like that melee combat experience, you know? So then you'll have like the caster experience and the melee combat experience. What starting zone do I think is most difficult on the ally side? The Night Elf start. The Night Elf start, it has a couple of really bad caves. It has the Barrow Den. The Barrow Den is a nightmare. You're in there forever trying to get the item from the shamans. And it's a very dangerous place to be, and you're stuck there for like an hour. Yeah, the Night Elf start is the roughest Alliance start. And there isn't a comparison on the Horde side. All the Horde starts are easy. The other bad thing about the Night Elf start is that like you can't easily zone hop. You need to have an escort through the wetlands, or you gotta do a half-hour swim. And even if you do the half-hour swim, that puts you in Westfall. There's plenty of stuff that can kill you in Westfall if you do the swim at like level 8 or 9. And on the Horde side, you can easily zone hop. Like, even if you're going from Mulgore to Duratar, if you stay on the road, like, nothing's really gonna kill you if you stay on the road. So yeah, the Night Elf start is the hardest in the game. How many of these do we aggro? None of them, it turns out none of them. They must call out for help or something. This guy came over as soon as we engaged. He came over. Joshua, your best bet is to join a guild, and then hopefully like, a guildie could escort you. That's what I did. Do I ever use quest guides like the one with the arrow? No, the only questing add-on I use is Questie. Like we're using Questie, and that's what's putting all the icons on the map and stuff like that. So we're already using Questie. I've never used anything else. It took me until like, you know, Season of Mastery. It wasn't until the Season of Mastery that I was even convinced to use Questie. And originally the only reason I turned on Questie was to see the quest and what level they were, so I could know where I could pick up quest. Because I was playing Alliance side and I wasn't super familiar with the higher level questing, so finally I was convinced to install Questie after like 18 years of playing the game completely add-on free. I started using Questie back in Season of Mastery, which was a couple years ago. Yeah, I don't like the spatial like arrow like in the world, you know, like in retail how it has the marker in the world that kind of like just, it's like a carrot you're following that just kind of drags you around. Like I don't really like that. I feel like it's kind of immersion breaking. It would probably be even more immersion breaking as a viewer than like as a player. Like as a player I could probably like tone it out and I could focus on what I want to focus on, but as a viewer, like looking at the directional arrow in the world would probably be like a huge immersion breaking distraction. Yeah, Eric, I am using Leatrix. I have it turned off to reveal the whole map. Yeah, Leatrix maps can reveal the whole map, and it does that by default. I went in at some point and I turned that off so that I have to actually reveal the map myself. Yeah, I didn't like that it revealed the whole map. I don't know why. I like having to reveal the map myself. Because again, like, I'm not a huge fan of add-ons to begin with. The reason I installed Leatrix maps was to have a smaller map. People didn't like when I would run around with my map filling up my screen. So to cut down on stress, I installed Leatrix maps.
What brings you here?
But yeah, by default it shows you everything.
May the stars
Hello. Be careful.
Alex, thanks for the elixirs, man. I appreciate it. That's awesome. I'm gonna mail some of these to my bank alt or probably to the Paley. I think the Paley needs some. Let's do that. Oh, let's do a little more. That should be good. That's perfect. That's awesome, man. Thank you so much. Alright, guys, I am at my hard stop for today. It is early release for my son at school, so I have to stop an hour early today. I'm not sure if I'll be on later. If I have the ability to get on later, I will try to schedule the stream as far in advance as possible so you guys can see that it's going to go up. And if I'm not on later, we will be back here tomorrow for more fun. Thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate the support. It does mean the world to me. So take care of yourselves out there and take care of each other. And we will see you back in Azeroth again very soon. Bye for now.